What's up everyone, RAH here. Today I'm going to do a review on the Spawn by Medicom Toys. This is part of their Real Action Heroes line. And this is based off the comic book version of Spawn. Not really based off the movie, because that would have, a lot more detail and stuff than this one would. But they still look kind of the same, because they kept it pretty accurate on the movie version as well as the comic book version. So yeah, start on the front of the box. They kind of made it look like the front of a comic book on the front of the box here. So up here you see Todd McFarlane's Spawn, and you could go to spawn.com, then you have that Spawn symbol, and then up here, just like all comic books, you have like the symbol Spawn, produced and manufactured by Medicom Toy, RAH 306, ages 15 and up. When you would pick up a comic book, it'll say like the price of the comic book and stuff like that right here. And then we have this nice picture of Spawn, and then we have McFarlane's name down there, and then warning, choking hazard, okay. And Real Action Heroes at the bottom there. And then at the side, see that Spawn again, Todd McFarlane's, and that Spawn symbol. This is a huge box, so yeah. And here's the back. See, it's Real Action Heroes number 306. Todd McFarlane official recognition. And yeah, and we see the creative staff. Supervisor was Todd McFarlane, and all the staff and stuff. Here's the other side of the box. It's the same thing as that other side. Then here's the top, and here's the bottom. It's all pretty much the same. And yeah, I couldn't find a better box version of this to buy. They all seem to have some kind of damage to them. And here's the window display. And then here's the intro. And then you can see a picture Spawn right there. Looks really cool in the darkness. It says Todd McFarlane official recognition. Real Action Hero Spawn, 340 millimeters tall, which is 12 inches. Todd McFarlane's masterpiece Spawn is faithfully realized as RAW. Includes unmasked head along with normal head. Majority of the core body parts had been newly sculpted for this model in order to realize its authentic proportion. The unique wall line is printed on the matte finish elastic bodysuit. The arm and leg armors are accurately sculpted and still retain a wide articulation range. Chain at collar, arm, and waist is made of metal. The mantle with inner wire frame shows its motion and heaviness. Includes a figure stand. Really cool. So yeah, let me get the figure out and I'll show you. Now here's the Spawn figure. Let me get started with the accessories. Comes with a figure stand. It's the typical Medicom one. And he has two fisted hands. Check that out. Really nice detail. You can see all the wrinkles on his knuckles. Really cool. And then we have the other head sculpt, which is they usually called the meathead, where he's all burnt and stuff. This is what it looks like in the comic book. And here we have the figure itself. Really cool figure. Just amazing detail on this. This is something I've been wanting for a long time, because Todd McFarlane and his McFarlane line toys, they're pretty much all statues. You could probably move their arm, like one of their arms, and then that's all the articulation you get. You know, you can't really do much with them, and it's kind of sad. Pretty much all those figures that they came out with, they're all statues. There's no articulation hardly in any of them. I think there was one that had some articulation, but he didn't. I don't think he had escape with that one. I believe he had like a bunch of bullets like strapped to him, and 2 guns. He had some articulation, but it wasn't, wasn't awesome. It wasn't too, cool. But this is just, look at his cape. That cape just looks so good. So anyways, there's an amazing amount of detail on him. Check out his head here. His head is plastic. Turn it this way, turn it that way. And right on his collar, I guess that would be, it's like a vinyl, I suppose, material. And it has a wire in it. So you could bend it that way, you could bend it that way, any way you want. You could bend it, which is really cool. And then here you have a chain made out of metal, and he has like skulls on each side. And he has that suit on. It's like this kind of the same material as this, except it's a little bit softer. Then we have a chain around his arm here, and his arm, this is plastic, but look at the detail on it. You could just see the brush going along it. Really neat, really nice. And then here we have his armband, and then wrist, and then one on his hand. And then this can looks like he's grabbing something, or he's just like, really angry with somebody. And then right here he has a skull on, like for his belt, I suppose that's supposed to be. And then a chain going all the way to his back over there. It's really nice. He has his leg band. Lots of detail on that. And this thing on his foot, never understood, but it does come up. So if you want to put some articulation on his foot, then you have his leg and foot band. Really neat. And it's actually kind of a heavy figure. So let's take a look in his back. this is what you see on his backside. And yeah, this all bends, so if you want to do it like that, you can. But of course, some parts, like up right here, it's sewn and attached that way, so you can't really do anything here. See right here, it starts getting connected and sewn, so you can only do so much. Like, you could only bend it to right there, and then that's it for that part. And there's no really any wire. Well, there's wire here, but in these parts there's no wire. There's only wire in certain parts. There's in there, but right here there's no wire, and right here there's wire. So it's just dependent on where you find it. Let's try some articulation. His arm can only go about there because it's hindered by his cape. And let's see, his arm stretches out to right there, and then it'll bend to there. And his wrist doesn't really go much. Let's see, if you want to take it off, it'll come out like that. But anyways, and yeah, he doesn't really have any ab articulation too much. Just goes to there. Not too much, and there's no side to side pivot. It doesn't. It's not. It's kind of weird. It you could see it does, but it's not really meant to. But the ab is just a little bit, not too much. It's just kind of wants to prop back up like this. And we'll do some leg articulation. Could about do the splits almost. And do some forward. Really nice. Not too bad. And do some knee articulation. Do like that. Really good. And straight. And let me try the other leg. I can't really show you with that one. It goes side to side, and then forward and up. Not too much, but then again, his cape is gonna hinder everything. So a good part of the cape is right here. Is that these ends will bend, so you could get some good articulation. And then here you could bend it as wherever you want. And up here you could bend, and as well as here. Very nice. That's something I really haven't seen too much before in a figure. Most figures you just see one little wire in the cape, and then that's pretty much it. But this, they kind of went to a whole different level, providing these long wires in the cape so you could pose it as you wish. So you could just make it look as cool as possible. So yeah, I think this is a great figure for Spawn, for any of you Spawn fans. It's probably my favorite Spawn figure ever, because this is probably the only 1/6 scale figure I think they've ever produced of Spawn. There probably is you know, some statue, you know, figures out there that are 1/6 scale, but you know, they're statues. You can't pose them, you can't do as you want with it. You can't pose the cape where you want it. You can't, you know, mess with his legs or any of that stuff. You're just kind of stuck with the same pose as everybody else. So this right here is just awesome. This is something I've been wanting for quite a while. He runs around $200, I believe. Actually, to me, that's not a bad price. The other Spawn figures have always kind of been on the expensive side, like $30 or so, and that's for a little tiny, like 5-inch or 6-inch, or maybe it was like 7 or so. For those figures, and they're just merely statues. I think you should go for it. $200 is not bad for this guy. He just looks too cool to me, and there's just a lot of possibility with it to be done. So yeah, really cool, really nice figure. I recommend it. Just looks amazingly awesome. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching my videos. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.